y'all, welcome back. So Halloween is just a few days away and I really want to finish off this spooky season right. So today I'm going to be going out of my comfort zone and making a Halloween themed sculpture using polymer clay. This is going to be my first sculpture, so bear with me. I hope you guys enjoy and let's get started.
Okay, so getting right into it, I have my wood base that I bought from my local craft store, and before I put my sheet of clay on it, I scratched the surface with just a razor blade, and then I put my Bacon Bond on it because I really wanted the clay to adhere to the wood base. And Bacon Bond is a special type of glue for polymer clay. So once I got my clay on my base fairly secure, I wasn't too worried at all this entire project really about being perfect. I actually wanted imperfections on it because it just really made everything flow and look that much better for what I was going for. So once I got my sheet on there secured, I just kind of squished it all on there. I wasn't too worried about it being perfect. I actually didn't want it to be perfect because that makes it look more natural. And then once I got it on there, I just took one of my tools with a narrow pointed end on it and really just did swirls on it on the clay to rough up the surface to make it look like grass. But don't be deceived, it actually took me about 2 hours just to do that. So after I got the grass done, I started working on my armature for the tree. Now you can, if you don't have wire or foil, you can also, to make that, you just do a full clay base, but I didn't want it to be too heavy and I wanted to save some product. So I just made the tree armature, which is wire and foil put into a shape that you want. I actually didn't look at any references other than a couple pictures, so I was just winging it the whole time. So for the brown, I actually took 3 different shades of brown. I had 2 scrap clays that I had used for other projects, and then I had the traditional brown block that you can get. And then there's really no special technique. I just flattened my pieces out with my pasta maker and put it on the tree. Again, as I said, this entire project, I didn't want anything to be necessarily perfect, especially the tree, because I wanted the tree to kind of have a rotten look. So I wanted it to have all kinds of scratches and nicks and dents and imperfections.
Every time we touch, your hands are colder, colder. There's no beating coming from your wooden chest. Frozen grin, a mannequin. When I get closer, I can see the strings that underneath your vest. If you can cry real tears, then you're gonna cry them all for me. If you can feel real fears, then I'm gonna leave you shivering. I'm gonna make you, I'm gonna make you, I'm gonna make you, na 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 na. I'm gonna make you, I'm gonna make you, I'm gonna make you, na 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 na. Into a real boy, the big reveal boy, gonna make you feel boy. Just like
Something I would recommend if you are working with polymer clay for the first time, which it took me a long time to learn this. Alcohol is your best friend. It is the easiest way to clean up polymer clay because any type of particle will stick to it, but it also makes smoothing it a lot easier too.
a real boy. Just like a real boy.
So here I'm just adding in extra branches onto the tree because I wasn't sure how to do that from the original base. So I just made some hooks and secured them with more clay. I think by the time I was done, I had used an entire block of brown.
Who's the one that turned your world to winter, winter? Who's the boy beneath the doll that wants to live? I can give you life with just a single whisper, show you what the meaning of a heartbeat is. If you can cry real tears, then you're gonna.
So here, after having added some textures on the tree, I had just taken my little tool and put some lines on it. I'm taking some chalk pastels that I have, just did black. I didn't mix it with any colors, and I just put that on the tree to get the rotten look.
Cry them all for me if you can feel.
So here I had made a armature for my Reaper, just again to save product use. I used the same technique where I just flattened out the black and then laid it on and formed it as I wanted it to be.
Real fears then
professional assistance in understanding the art of human love. Step 1. Engage your partner in a series of increasingly intimate questions. Then, answer the same questions openly and truthfully. Step 2. Wait until an appropriate level of personal rapport has been achieved before participating in skin-on-skin contact. Step 3. Remain emotionally present during intercourse, periodically gazing into one another's eyes until the final moment of physical intimacy.
If you can cry real tears, then you're gonna cry them all for me. If you can feel real fears, then I'm gonna leave you shivering. I'm gonna make you, I'm gonna make you, I'm gonna make you, la 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 la, I'm gonna make you, I'm gonna.
The hands took me a couple times. Any type of human features I'm really not good at. So like faces or hands, feet, I'm really horrible at doing. So I had to do his hands a couple times. But the nice thing about this was, since my goal wasn't to be perfect, it actually made it look all the better. That's why I also ended up giving him big sleeves, like draping sleeves, to kind of hide his hands a little bit, which also completed the look and made him look real cool.
Step 4. Once both parties have reached climax, continue to hold each other in a close embrace. Step 5. When the evening is complete, do not exit the building.
I also used pastels on the pumpkins and his scythe. The pumpkin pastels, I just took some, I think it was a copper color and a little bit of brown, and mixed that together. Because I wanted, since the tree was rotten and the pumpkins grew out of the tree, I wanted the pumpkins to look rotten too.
I repeat, do not exit the building until the morning sun has risen.
Wish I could feel what I can't see. Float.
I love pastels. If you're working with clay, pastels are great. They really add a depth to the sculptures.
The butterflies scream like a banshee. Something's hiding in the pantry that I can't find it, so would you please enchant me? Give me a potion for my devotion to the emotion.
The fire was fun. I really liked doing the fire. I did add some yellow paint onto the tips of it later just because it seemed kind of flat.
I've yet to surrender to tales of forever, but never say never, my dear.
The cat was simple, but I did struggle with the cat a little bit, just with his face. I wasn't sure how to do his face. And later I did actually end up adding a mouth to him as well, but I didn't do too many other modifications.
Can you make me believe it at night when I call for the magic? 'Cause I just wanna feel it when things go bump in the attic, baby. Like a rabbit pulled from a hat. All that any true love can ask. Can you
Bacon Bond is really great. If you guys are just getting into crafting with Polymerclay, I really recommend Bacon Bond. It saves so much hassle. So for the pumpkins that I put on the tree, I had used some gardening wire, or flower arranging wire, I think is what it's called. And I put that, just a tiny piece, just enough that it went through the stem into the pumpkin, but hung out a little bit. So when I stuck it onto the tree, wire connected into the tree as well. I didn't do that for the ones that are on the base of it though.
see it? 'Cause I want to believe in the magic. Cast all your spells onto me. Touch me with your wand till the light shines through me. Come on, baby, let's get spooky. I don't know if it's real, but I want it to be. If there's an omen.
The ghost was pretty simple. The only thing is I actually hate working with white clay, because unlike colored clays, white clay, you really can see every single imperfection, like speck of dust or color or lint or hair or anything, and it takes forever to to clean it off. And even then, there's still some spots that you can see because it's really difficult.
I wanna know when my eyes are open. I've yet to surrender to tales of forever, but never say never, my dear. Can you make me believe it at night when I call for the magic? 'Cause I just wanna feel it when things go bump in the attic, baby. Like a rabbit pulled from a hat, all that any true love can ask. Can you help me to see it? 'Cause I want to believe in the magic. Fairy tales and sleeping beauties, magic like what's in the movies. Want to know it absolutely like you do, like you do. But I felt something when you held me. Maybe one more kiss could help me. Close your eyes, your lips, and tell me if it's true, if it's true. Oh, baby, can you make me believe it at night when I call for the magic? 'Cause I just wanna feel it when things go bump in the attic, baby. Like a rabbit pulled from a hat, all that any true love can ask. Can you help me to see it? 'Cause I want to believe in the magic. Oh, because I want to believe in the magic. Because I want to believe in the magic.
I wanted the ghost to be kind of floating a little bit, so I took some of my thicker wire and put that underneath him, and I attached that to the grass. I didn't want it too high because I knew you'd be able to see the wire, but just enough that if you're looking at the right angle, it looks like he's floating, which is cool. I also used pastels on the marshmallows to make them look like they were toasted. I used some brown, red, and then a little bit of black. Next, I'm working on my marshmallow guy. He was probably my favorite thing to make out of all of them. It was simple, but he actually turned out as I pictured him to be, which just made it all the better. I was really happy with how he turned out. And I purposely put him close to the fire because I wanted his little hands and feet to be toasted because he's just too eager to eat his marshmallow. My whole goal with this scene, this sculpture, what I kind of imagined was you have the Reaper who, when he collects souls, they turn into pumpkins, you know, the evil souls. But when he comes home from work, he always has to deal with the nuisances of his sidekicks. And today they just happen to be having a little marshmallow fest. And to kind of add a little wicked twist to it, make it dark without being dark, is the marshmallow creatures eating marshmallows. So I wanted it to be cute, but also to have, if you think about it, a darker plot kind of thing.
Heard voices in the night, whispers of double lives. Saw back from where your knife went in. Dark eyes without a face. Now
So here I'm just doing pumpkins, adding my wire so I can connect them to the tree. And I didn't want them to be too big because I wasn't sure how much weight the branches could hold. So the pumpkins were fun to make because I didn't want anything to be perfect. So none of them were the same size. And I purposely made some really small ones, and I made one really big one that's at the back of the tree.
I'm on the case, LA Confidential. I deal with the devil, I won't leave a trace. Watching every move you're making, I'll keep my guard up, lie awake. And now you've crossed that line, I'm up all night. I'm gonna sleep with one eye open. The trust we made went broke, lost in mirrors and smoke. You laughed, but now the joke's on you. Look closely where you step. Look right and to the left. 'Cause you got a sickness and I got a witness. you'll never suspect. Watching every move you make, and I'll keep my...
Alright guys, so we are 4 days and about 17 hours of work later. The sculpture is finished and I think it looks really good. I'm really proud of how it turned out, especially going out of my comfort zone and doing a sculpture for the first time. It looks really good. There was 2 issues though after baking. So let me just put it up in view. So let's see, here it is. Where is it? There it is. Okay, there we go. So this pumpkin here ended up falling off, but it was still intact, so it actually wasn't a big deal because all I had to do was glue it back on. And then this branch here had an air pocket in it, so it cracked. But just like with the pumpkin, I just put a little glue on it, slap some paint on there afterward, and you really won't notice it if you don't know what you're looking for. So I think it turned out really good. I'm really happy with it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time.
Lie awake and now you've crossed that line.